In just a few brief seconds, the bridge was completely destroyed. The flash flood swept in, submerging an entire major city. The wrath of Mother Nature is truly terrifying. Every year, hundreds of storms, flash floods, droughts, and tornadoes occur worldwide, causing immense damage to both human life and property. Humanity and even its most seemingly solid architectural creations appear incredibly fragile in the face of nature's power. Natural phenomena is a general term used to refer to highly destructive events such as storms, floods, volcanic eruptions, and earthquakes. Environmental pollution causes severe negative impacts on natural ecosystems, while also leading to substantial economic and human life damages. A storm is an extreme weather phenomenon that develops from a tropical depression, typically occurring over tropical ocean regions such as the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans. Storms often bring heavy rains, causing widespread flooding. Throughout history, there have been numerous storms, floods, tsunamis, and earthquakes, demonstrating the furious power of Mother Nature. Join the mysterious universe as we revisit the most terrifying natural disasters in today's video. On June 27, 2014, the sky over the Black Sea near Junkoy, Ukraine was clear and bright. A 3-meter-high tsunami wave suddenly crashed ashore, penetrating dozens of meters inland and sweeping away everything in its path, while dozens of people were relaxing and sunbathing on the beach. Afterward, the water receded and swept more than a dozen people out to sea. Fortunately, the rescue team managed to save a total of 15 people in time. Among them, 4 children and 2 adults were injured and had to be hospitalized for treatment. At that moment, the beach looked no different than a battlefield in the aftermath, with sun loungers scattered chaotically, broken or toppled over. When powerful waves move over shallow waters, they can form a massive wall of water known as a meteorological tsunami, meteotsunami. This is a rare phenomenon but one capable of causing significant damage along coastal areas. These events are very difficult to predict and can range from small, almost imperceptible waves to large swells capable of submerging coastal areas. The phenomenon resembled a tsunami strike, but in reality, no tsunami occurred, as local seismic centers did not record any signs of an earthquake. This phenomenon could be the cause of unusually high ocean waves. So specifically, what is it? Ocean waves can also be generated by meteorite impacts, but this only occurs if the meteorite strikes the seafloor directly and immediately. The seismographs should have detected the tremors, but in reality, there were no recordings whatsoever. This also rules out the possibility that a World War II-era bomb buried beneath the seabed suddenly exploded. The reason is that many people believe only an atomic bomb could generate waves that high. Experts have proposed 2 explanations for this issue. First, those waves are formed by the movement of tectonic plates on the ocean floor. Meteotsunami. This phenomenon is actually similar to a tsunami only in terms of its cause of formation. Tsunamis are typically the result of powerful earthquakes occurring on the ocean floor. Conversely, meteorological tsunamis, meteotsunamis, form when a low-pressure area moves very rapidly over the sea. The high waves crashed against the shore in a characteristic rhythm, receding only to surge forward once more. Waves from both sides of the ocean successively echoed and resonated with one another, driving their height ever higher. A meteotsunami can last from 3 minutes to several hours. This duration depends on the low-pressure system or thunderclouds, along with their speed of movement. The 1931 flood is considered the worst flood in China during the 20th century. In the summer of that year, the water levels of major rivers such as the Pearl River, Yangtze River, Heihe River, and Yellow River. After heavy rains, the water level rose and caused a devastating flood. Residents in 16 Chinese provinces have been directly affected by this incident. After a 2-year drought, the region was then hit by major snowstorms, followed by heavier rain and even severe tornadoes. By July 1931, China's 3 major rivers, the Yangtze, the Yellow River, and the Huai River, had all reached their maximum water holding capacity. According to estimates, the flood claimed the lives of approximately 1 to 4 million people, the majority of whom died from famine and disease. Floods not only destroy crops but also contaminate water sources, leading to outbreaks of infectious diseases such as dysentery and typhoid within the community. This is the deadliest flood ever recorded in human history. Following the 1931 flood, the Chinese government truly began to recognize the importance of a disaster management system. Subsequently, an effective disaster management system was established to ensure preparedness for all natural calamities. A 524-meter-high wall of water thundered forward, recreating Alaska's nightmare from 6 decades ago. On the night of July 9, 1958, A powerful earthquake measuring between 7.7 and 8.3 on the Richter scale triggered a massive landslide on the northeastern shore of Lituya Bay, along the southern coast of Alaska. The earthquake occurred along the Fairweather Fault, and this very fault is also responsible for creating the distinctive T-shape of Lituya Bay when viewed from above. The bay is 1.2 kilometers long and 3.2 kilometers wide. Immediately after the earthquake, a massive volume of rock and earth, amounting to 40 million cubic meters, collapsed from a height of 914 meters, with a portion of it plunging into the Lituya Glacier. All of this generated a tsunami over 30 meters high on the spot, before it began to travel. Not stopping there, the massive earthquake, along with its aftershocks and enormous landslides, continued to fuel the tsunami, driving its height to a staggering 524 meters. At that tremendous height, the mega tsunami in Lituya Bay could have completely submerged the entire 443-meter-tall Empire State Building in the U.S. A colossal mega tsunami, over 524 meters high, continued to crash down upon both shores of Lituya Bay before surging into the Gulf of Alaska. The devastating power of the super tsunami uprooted and swept away millions of trees along both sides of the bay. On the fateful night of July 9, 1958, because Lituya Bay was a popular fishing spot for local fishermen, 3 boats were anchored there. In the end, one boat was severely damaged and another was completely sunk into the sea. Fortunately, the fishermen on these 2 boats were rescued in time. However, the remaining boat and its 2 occupants vanished without a trace. It is likely they were swept out to sea by the tsunami, returning to the eternal ocean. The catastrophic flood of the Yellow River in China in 1887. Aside from the 1938 flood intentionally caused by the Chinese government, the Yellow River had previously experienced an even more catastrophic deluge on September 28, 1887. According to estimates, the horrific flood claimed the lives of between 900,000 and 2 million people and left approximately 2 million others homeless. Vast areas of agricultural land and several small towns were also completely destroyed. China's sorrow. The Yellow River water is believed to have breached the dikes in the Yukongkou Department, near the city of Zhengzhou, Henan Province. Due to the low-lying plains in the surrounding area, the floodwaters spread rapidly across northern China, covering an area of approximately 130,000 square kilometers, causing congestion in rural residential areas and commercial centers. The floods left 2 million people homeless. Subsequent disease outbreaks, coupled with a severe shortage of essential supplies, claimed as many lives as the direct casualties of the flooding itself. Zhongguo Baoluan, which translates to, "From the dawn of civilization to the present day, floods have consistently been the natural disaster causing the greatest loss of human life and the most severe devastation. These very rivers that bring life and great promise can also, at times, take the lives of those who depend on them." The devastating power of Super Typhoon Nina in 1975 came not from its winds, but from the catastrophic flooding it unleashed. Typhoon Doksuri had expended much of its energy crossing the central mountain range of Taiwan, China, and weakened to a tropical storm by the time it made landfall in mainland China. Upon making landfall, Typhoon Nina unleashed up to 1,060 millimeters of rainfall within just 24 hours, a figure equivalent to the entire average annual rainfall of the central China region. The Great Flood collapsed the Banqiao Dam and destroyed over 60 other dams. When the dams broke, a 10-kilometer-wide wave, 3 to 7 meters high, swept across the lowlands at nearly 50 kilometers per hour, destroying an area 55 kilometers long and 15 kilometers wide. The flood swept tens of thousands of survivors downstream, submerged thousands of kilometers of land, and claimed the lives of 26,000 people. An additional 145,000 people later died from disease and famine. By some estimates, the death toll may have reached nearly 230,000 people. In total, Typhoon Nina destroyed nearly 6 million homes, affected 11 million people, and caused economic losses amounting to $1.2 billion United States dollars for China. A historic flood submerges New York City. The floods killed at least 9 people, swept away cars, submerged subway cars, and forced the temporary suspension of flights in New York and New Jersey. Due to the impact of Storm Ija, the area experienced torrential downpours. The National Weather Service reported that the aftermath of Typhoon Ija brought rainfall of 15 to 20 centimeters. In the Northeast, from Philadelphia to Connecticut, rainfall broke records with rates of 8 centimeters, 3 inches, per hour in Manhattan, shattering the previous record set less than 2 weeks prior. The 18.1 centimeters of rainfall in New York City ranked as the 5th highest single-day total ever recorded in the city's history. Subway service in New York City remains severely limited. Currently, there are no rail services available to the northern suburban areas of the city. This flood has caused an enormous disaster for the local people. Katrina Atlantic newspaper. On August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina made landfall in the United States with wind gusts of up to 205 kilometers per hour, causing severe damage in 5 Gulf Coast states. Among them, the state of Louisiana suffered the most severe damage, with approximately 1,300 people killed. The city of New Orleans, the capital of Louisiana, was nearly submerged by floodwaters, with up to 4/5 of the city underwater due to the effects of torrential rain and storm surge. According to estimates, at least 273,000 people have lost their homes and over 1 million have been displaced as a result of Typhoon Katrina. The Katrina statement also reported the destruction of an area of approximately 235,000 square kilometers, equivalent to half the size of France and equal to the area of Romania. Additionally, approximately 40 to 50 kilometers of Mississippi's coastline was nearly wiped out, while 4/5 of New Orleans was submerged. As of the end of 2015, the U.S. federal government had spent over $70 billion from its budget to support the affected states. Efforts to restore infrastructure and the economy following the storm are underway. It is estimated that the disaster has claimed the lives of over 1,800 people and caused severe damage to the infrastructure system, in which 80% of New Orleans was submerged, and the hurricane showed no signs of stopping for a long time. This was also the most memorable hurricane season on record for the Atlantic, with a total of 15 storms inflicting terrible devastation. From this point, a powerful message was sent, warning humanity about nature's unrestrained and devastating power. Dear friends, severe natural phenomena are occurring with increasing frequency. It is noteworthy that across the world, we are simultaneously witnessing wildfires, floods, earthquakes, and record-breaking heat waves. This development once again serves as a wake-up call to the world about the unforeseeable dangers humanity must face when Mother Nature reawakens. From this warning situation, we can see even more clearly the urgency of environmental protection. Now, it's time to say goodbye. Hope to see you again soon.